The nightmare of artificial intelligence rising against humanity, its creator, is one of the obvious terrors presented in 2001: A Space Odyssey. But another, less conspicuous terror is that of space itself, the great void, the cosmic abyss, which we think of as the next great frontier, the next step in civilizational evolution, even as our destiny. In 2001, space is altogether alien. Indeed, we might even call it terrifying. In this video, I will attempt and fail to express an idea. We, the inhabitants of this small blue dot, are used to Earth-like things. Sound, warmth, up and down, a breathable atmosphere. Space has none of these things, and the Discovery must carry all of them with her. The ship is a mini Earth, a tiny fragment of the human world surrounded by the cold and dark of space. Yet, even so, this homely metal womb is sterile and artificial. There is a line in 2010 that may well express a deep human need which may confront astronauts on the long voyages of the future. I miss green. In 2001, space is cold, dark and silent. It is not friendly, and it is not, in effect, a stand-in for the ocean, like arguably it is in Star Trek. In the latter, great and elegant starships the size of aircraft carriers glide effortlessly through the great expanse between the stars, warping from one star system to the next, encountering the not-so-very alien and getting embroiled in adventures, boldly going where no man has gone before. But in 2001, the Discovery is not free of the bounds of physics, fuel and gravity in the same way as the Enterprise. It is an arrow shot from Earth out into the solar system and making its slow way towards Jupiter across a dark, cold void. At the time of writing and producing this video, no human being has been beyond the orbit of the Moon, which is a pity. Unmanned probes, themselves marvels of human ingenuity, have toured our solar system, but we as a species have not been out there. There is an unquestioned belief that one day we will. We might call it cosmic manifest destiny. This belief, conscious or unconscious, that it is inevitable that we will spread across the stars. But what if we're defeated not by distance and effort, but by the terror of space itself? The infinite is truly infinite, its dimensions so great as to be meaningless. It is frequently stated, as if proven beyond debate, that the universe is about 13,000 million years old. And yet, the James Webb Telescope, staring into the cosmic abyss towards the edge of the universe, can see not a blank nothingness, but other galaxies. Galaxies, moreover, that appear to be not only freshly formed, but well seasoned. Perhaps the universe is not 13,000 million years old, but 26.7 thousand million years old. Perhaps the universe is older than even that. If we assume every human generation to be 25 years, then this would generate 1,000 million generations of mankind. In terms of centuries, this would be 267 million centuries. By way of comparison, the period from the end of the last glaciation to the present day, there have been 120 centuries, give or take a few centuries. All that can be counted as human lies within that tiny sliver of time. And yet the universe is vastly older. But worse still, it is inhuman. There is nothing human ahead of the Discovery's command module. The ship's crew are truly alone, and they are on a journey away from humanity towards the truly unknown and alien. It is no wonder Hal runs psychological assessments on Bowman and Poole. There is a condition known as astrophobia, a fear of outer space. We can see how 2001 might stimulate such a phobia. There are fears of becoming lost in space, unable to get home. Think of Frank Poole tumbling through space. Fears of zero gravity and the loss of even this most basic ability to stand in one place. And fears of encountering that which can never be understood, such as the monolith. The silence of space is disconcerting. It even seems to infect the astronauts, as the dialogue in the film is sparse. 2001 also portrays the lives of Bowman and Poole as dull and routine. We can speculate that when, or if, we do head out into the cosmos, space travel will prove to be 99% sheer boredom and 1% terror. This might even be one of the lessons of 2001. Think of David Bowman's icy calm, broken only in the moments before his unconventional reboarding of the Discovery, and later his plunge through the Stargate. The darkness of space is disturbing. For the sake of the film, the Discovery model must be lit so we the audience can see it. But in space, so far from the sun, it is gloomy, almost pitch dark, with what illumination there is coming from the cold distant stars and the sunlight reflected by Jupiter, its moons, and the Discovery herself. The vastness of space is a source of anxiety, even terror. It is the ultimate abyss, and utterly inhuman. It presents us with an uncomfortable question. What if it isn't there for us? It challenges the solipsism of a species that has always put Homo sapiens at the centre of the universe. Joseph Brodsky once suggested that should the truth about the world exist, it was bound to be non-human. The space of 2001: A Space Odyssey suggests we might scale this up to mean the universe. And yet there is a degree of consoling in the film. It has been described as a shaggy God story. It can be argued that mankind invented gods to shield humanity from the cold winds of the abyss. In 2001, in place of God, we have aliens that might well be gods. And yet despite the ambiguities of their motivations and the film's ending, at least they are out there, keeping an eye on us. Add to it the familiar sound of the Blue Danube Waltz to close the film, and we can return to the comforting light of our personal realities.